Hello everyone, how are you? Today I have something a little bit different for you than I normally do. I've recently kind of gotten a little started in junk journaling, especially when KCS Designs by Kim came out with this Journeys from Everywhere Trifold digital folio kit. Anything travel related or book related or food related, I'm there. So I have already done a video where I walk you through, I printed all the pages in the folio and I show you everything that's on the folio. I'll leave a link for that below. So today I want to show you what I made using the folio. So this is just a little junk journal travel folio, and I have it closed using a piece of Velcro. You could also use an eyelet and then wrap some ribbon or string around it. I have a little, one of the ephemera is, a few of the ephemera in the kit are these wax seals. So when you open this up, you have the right side, and I have there's a little pocket here. And then I have this little booklet that opens up like that. So you could write about something, journal about something, add some photos or some fun things that happened on the weekend. This is great for like a little weekend trip somewhere, just to document it. Then here on this pocket, so you have one long pocket, then there's a shorter pocket, and then a really short pocket. So in the really short pocket, I have some of this ephemera of some stamps, and someone who collected rubber stamps his whole life. It's kind of fun to see them there. And then just some more of the ephemera that things can be written on the back, or something could be glued down to it. Here's another stamp. Look, this is the, oh my God, I'm going blank. Oh gosh, I'm blank. I'm losing my American history living here in Brazil, where Trump wants to put his face. Mount Rushmore, that's it, Mount Rushmore. Here's a few more little ephemera tickets. This kit comes with, I think, 93 pieces of ephemera. So there is plenty in this kit to add to little pockets and things like that. On this side, we have a diagonal pocket that comes in the kit, and then I have one of the shorter pockets here. I glued on some of the ephemera here to the short pocket. For the tall pocket, I made this little booklet here, again, using the papers that come in the kit. And then here I just have some of the ephemera here. So then when you close it up with the, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting everything today. The, oh my God, I can't believe this today. I woke up with a cold or allergies or something, so I apologize. On the back, I added another one of the pockets, and I made another little book using one of the other digital papers in the kit. And then I just added these little pieces of ephemera to the back pocket here. Now, I do want to talk to you about something. So, the kit, first of all, I'm having a problem with my printer. I have ordered a new printer. I don't have it yet. I'll have it sometime this week. These papers are not really true to color. I know that every printer is going to print a little bit differently. Every monitor sees colors a little differently depending on how you have it set up. My printer, for some reason, is printing a little bit greener than it needs to be. This is a very brown, vintage folio look, as you can see here in the ad in her Etsy store. This is available in her Etsy store. Also, this weekend, this is July 4th weekend, everything in her Etsy store is 50% off. So if you like this video or you like this kit, go grab it now while it's on sale. So This is one of the papers that comes with it. You cut it out. I printed on both sides, so I printed this side. So for this one, this is this paper. Okay, so I printed this side, and then I turned the paper over, and I put it back in my printer, and I printed it with this design so that this would show on the inside. If you don't do that, the inside of your book is going to be white. So that's why I suggest doing double-sided printing, okay? But when you cut this out, you need to score. So if you score here, and then you come in and you score here, you're going to have a basic fold here and then a fold here, and it's going to be very thin. I wanted a little bit more bulk to my folio, so I added this like 1/8 of an inch gusset here, and I also added 1/8 of an inch gusset here, so that when you fold it, okay, it folds nice like this, and there's room when you add things inside the, your photos, or maybe some Instax photos, or something from your trip. You have space there so that it's not going to bulge like what we call like an alligator mouth or a crocodile mouth. So the first one I did here, I screwed up because it's not, I don't know if you could see, it's not sitting straight like this. So I screwed up my scoring here, but I fixed that on my final product, and I'm going to walk you through that now. So like I was talking about the ephemera, I'll just walk through this quickly. So you get, this is one of the digitals. That was this one. And then you also get this map. No, I'm sorry, you get this side. Oh, now I'm forgetting. You get, okay, you do. You get this design as one of these also, and then I just printed this on the back because this is one of the other papers. So this is one of the fronts. You get 2 outside papers, and then this is what I printed on the other side. And then this is one of the designs, this is one of the designs, and this one. And then you get all of these pockets and ephemera and tags and postage stamps and everything. I go through this a lot better in the video, which I'll link below. So for this one, I have already gone and cut the pieces that I want. I'll show you what I've cut, and I've scored, and I've added the tape, but I want to explain to you. So you cut it out, okay, it's this one size. Then you go and let's say you cut one of the large pockets. I've done this with some other kits in the past, and especially when you're buying something where the distress edges are already in the digital for you, like here. This has already been distressed for you, okay? Sometimes the scoring is a little off. Sometimes the way we cut is a little off. So sometimes these have to be adjusted just a little bit. So I did my original score, okay? And this would have been the original score. When I placed it here, okay, this was still a little bit too wide for here. So I went in with my scoring tool, and what I did was I lined up this first score line here, and then I scored it like 1/16 right next to it. Or if you need more room, you could always do 1/8. But you have to sometimes play around with the envelopes, the pockets. So I did an extra score mark there, and then I just burnished it and I distressed the edges. So now I know it's going to fit here nicely. So now when I knew that what my pocket was, this is when I took a pencil and I made some mark over here. Then I came in with my score tool and I lined up my pencil marks with one of the numbers and I scored. And then I immediately scored again at the 1/8 higher so that I would have this 1/8 inch gusset here. Okay, so now, then what I did was I kind of held it like this, okay, and I knew that this edge, this has to be straight up like this, okay? So if you use this part of your scoring tool as kind of like a buffer, a wall, okay, so then I came in here and I made some marks with a pencil. I opened this up, I lined this up with one of the numbers, I scored down, and then I scored again 1/8 of an inch that way. So this way, when this closes later, it's going to close with a straight edge here and a straight edge here. I hope that makes sense. So just because you cut a pocket and you score it and you distress it, sometimes the pockets need to be adjusted. Okay, so what I'm doing here is this was one of the pages. No, this was the page that comes in the kit. I printed this page and then I put it into my printer. I turned the paper over and then I printed this design on it. Now you have to remember that this paper, these two designs have a direction, okay? So if I was to put this in my printer and then immediately turn it over this way and put it into my printer, this would have printed like this, which would have been wrong, okay? So when you print, when you have this side and you know that this is going to be your inside, you have to think, do I want this to open with the flap on the left? Or do I want this to open with the flap on the right? If you want the flap on the right, you have to make sure that the paper is being put into your printer the correct way. Every printer is different. Some printers have you feed from the back, some feed from the drawer. So you have to play around. I played around with basic printer paper first to make sure that I was printing the correct way and I didn't want to waste any cardstock. So again, make sure that, you know, if I had this paper and I wanted to print, say, this on the other side, it doesn't really matter what direction I put this in because this really has no direction, this paper, this design, okay? So I did that and I know that my folio is going to open here with the left side. So then I took one of these, you get two large, wait, I think I used the other one here. You get, no, that one's there. Where's the other one? You get two pockets, two large pockets. Okay, you get two large pockets. And you pick whichever one you want. Let me see if it's in here. I have different envelopes here with, here's the other pocket. Okay, so you get these two options as pockets, okay? Because this already has a design here, I didn't want to put another design on top of it. I kind of like the idea of making the back a little bit less busy than the front pocket. So after working through with my scoring, I put double-sided tape on the three sides. Now, I know that I'm going to put a pocket on top of this, okay? So I'm going to put, okay, I don't have the other pocket. So I recently picked up a die on AliExpress that I thought was really cool. This is the die. And when you cut the die, it gives you all of these little slits here. So I was thinking, oh my God, that would be so cool to have this in one of the pockets so that I could have a spot for more ephemera than I ever thought I could have. So what I did was, this is the pocket that I used. It has all these travel, might be passports or something. And I put this right over it, and I ran this through my die cut machine before I adhere it down. But then I realized, well, when I fold this back, you can see the white from the other side. And I didn't want to, I already cut this out, so I didn't want to have to reprint this. So what I did was I had another pocket here. I figured it out. What I decided was I'm going to glue this front pocket to the back before I adhere this large one down. So I will adhere both pockets down at the same time. So I printed this pocket. Well, you get a sheet with all the pockets on it. I cut this pocket out, and then I scored where the distress was. I realized it was still too big, okay? So I was playing around, because if you see here, the pocket, if I put this here and here, you can see there's more room here. Let me see if I can come in here a little bit. There's excess room here, and there's excess room here. So what I did was I originally scored it. Okay. I originally scored it here where the paper says you should score it. Then I came in and I scored it another 1/8 inch this way, and I did it to both sides. So that now when I glue this on, the seams, there's no gap, okay? So what I'm going to do now is, let me come out a little bit. So now that I've cut it, I just want to grab some, I like to use archival coffee for my distress. You could use the vintage photo also. But also, I like to distress using a color of, if I'm doing a baby boy book, I'll use a blue distress ink. A baby girl book will be one of the pink ones. Okay, I'm just going to distress all the sides like that. I'm not going to worry about the slits here. That would be too much. So now before I adhere this down, I'm going to use some glue here, because I want to be able to move it around if I need to. Let me get this out of the way. Whoops. I'm going to add some wet glue to the score marks. This was a really fun folio to do, I have to say. And it's kind of good to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Now here, I'm going to just fold this back so that I can align this on the bottom. And then we will adhere that down, and we'll adhere this side down. So now this pocket, the tabs on the side, are adhered to the tabs on this pocket, okay? I'm going to come in and I'm just going to burnish this well. I'm going to trim this pocket off in a second, just so that there's less bulk underneath. So here, I'm going to just trim this away. Okay, the bottom looks good, and that looks good. Okay, let me just... So now what we can do is, let me just burnish this a little bit more. You could use double-sided tape also. I just find that using the glue when you're gluing the one pocket on top of the other, you have some wiggle room if you need to move the pocket around. So I'm just going to come in and try to cover up some of this. Okay, that looks better. So now I'm going to grab my folio again, make sure it's on the right side, and we're going to glue it right in here. And I'm going to use double-sided tape here. So grab my tape. I already put the tape on there, so I'm just going to add a little bit more here. I'm going to add some on this side. I have an idea for a project, taking like a little box, an MDF box that I have tons of here, and instead of making an album for the box, making a bunch of standalone little photo things for photos and stuff, and do a theme box. I'm thinking coffee. Coffee's always good, right? Okay. Okay, gonna get this. Today's July 4th. I know that so many of my friends are struggling with a heat wave. Here in Brazil, it's winter, and it's much colder than it should be. The south of Brazil was actually 2 degrees below zero this morning, which is cold for them. Okay, I'm just going to trim this off a little bit also. To save on the bulk. I really should use my glasses. Yes, I should. Okay. That's much better. So now I can see. Okay. Gonna get rid of that. That seems fine. Okay, now I'm just going to adhere this down here. I'm going to start with the bottom. Align the bottom edges up, and then you can align the right, and the left should just fall right in. Then we'll just burnish this down a little bit. Be careful if you're using this dye or something like it, because you don't want to rip these little slats. Okay, I'm hoping this flattens out a little bit, but we'll add ephemera later. Okay, so now for the left pocket, I love this long one with the map. Let's come in a little bit. Okay, so I love this long one with the map. So I think we're going to put this one here. And then, oh, I have this one. This one I already distressed. I have the tape on it. And then I think this one, this little, you get, I think, 4 of these, 4 or 6 of these smaller ones. This one I thought would go nice, like right over the map for another pocket for ephemera and stuff. So I'm just going to remove that. I cannot wait for this printer to come in so that when I'm doing stuff like this, it's real colors. And on the pockets, you don't really need to print on the opposite side because no one's going to see the opposite side. So make sure you're on the other side of the score mark here. You don't want to be on the score line. You want to be just on the other side. I'm going to burnish this down. Okay. So let's just make sure. So we have, Okay, I wanted to make sure about this pocket. So let me just run a very long ruler just to make sure nothing is glued down on the inside. Nothing is. Okay. So now here, then I think we're going to do this one on top of here. So just going to remove the tape backing. You could use the glue here. I just find that sometimes the double-sided tape is faster. Okay, gonna put this here. That looks about good. This is coming together nicely. Okay, so we have our insides done. Now for the back pocket. Okay, I want to make sure you close this and then you turn it over. So we are working on this here. I have this pocket that I'm just going to add here. Okay. I'm excited because strawberry season is upon us here, and July and August are really big with strawberry festivals. Wait, I did something wrong. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I know why I did this, because I wanted to show you guys what I was talking about with this pocket being too big. Okay, we'll work around this. So, as you can see, there's a gap here and there's a gap here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scoreboard and I'm going to line up this line, the score line, and I'm going to score a little bit onto the inside of the pocket. So now we have two, so let's see if this works now. Nope, I still need a little bit, so I'm going to go now on the left side, and I'm going to line up this score line with the 2, and then I will score here 1/16 over. We'll burnish this. It's a little bit easier if I had the tape backing on the tape. Let's see if this works. So now, let's see. This works so much better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is grab my ink to distress both of the new score lines. Now I do need to cut off a little bit here because we have a new score line. And you don't want all that bulk into your pocket. So I'm coming up here to this new score line here. And then we'll just come across there. And for the top part, we will cut off a little bit here. And then, let's get rid of that. And then here also. Okay, much better. Now let me just make sure I'm on the right spot. I am. We'll adhere this here. I'm so happy the dogs are being quiet. Even our new one. Blue is now February, March, April, May, June. 4 months. July 29th, she'll be 5 months. She's growing quite quickly. And she's already destroyed 2 of my flip-flops. So, I'm just going to add a little glue here. I forgot to add additional tape. let's just burnish this down. Okay, so we got three pocket on the back now. You know, stuff happens when you're doing this stuff. Make sure that nothing is glued on the inside. Okay, so now I wanted to make something that comes out the top here. And I wanted to do something. So I took one of the papers, okay, one of the other digital papers. So here for the back, it's, let's see, the pocket's about 3.5. And I don't want to come right up to the pocket, so I made my little booklet 3.25. And the, here is 6.5. So I did this 6.5 by 6.5. I scored in the middle at 3.25. I distressed all the sides with the archival ink, so you have like a little booklet here for photos or to write something. This should slip in here pretty easily. It's not coming off the top, so that's fine. For the inside here, I cut two pieces. One is 3.25 by, here, this is 3.25 by 6.5. This is 3.25 by 7. I scored here 1/2 inch, and I put some tape on the back. And we will remove the tape. And line this up here. Then line up your papers, your corners, and just burnish well. You may need to go back and add more distress ink if you want. Let me come out here a little bit. Okay. So now I have this top folding little booklet that can, I mean, you could decorate the front, but if you decorate anything on the front, make sure that it's down really flat, because when you're putting this in and out of the pocket, you want to make sure that it's not snagging on here. So now this should go all the way down, but we may be having a little blockage at the bottom due to some glue. Let's see if that works. Okay, works perfectly. So now we have this that can be pulled out. And I'll show you what I did on the other one. Here on this side, I took another piece of the paper. And honestly, when you cut your papers up, don't throw them away, because these could be photo mats for something. So this one, I cut a piece of paper. It's 3.25 across by 6.5. I scored in the center, so it's 3.25 by 3.25. No need for any photo mats or anything on the inside. This can just sit in here, maybe. Yes, it can. This one, let's see what we can do here. This is 3.25. Let's do this 3.25 by 4.75. Wait, let's see what other papers I have here. Let's see what we have here. I don't want everything to be this. So, oh, here's another one of the papers that I haven't used. So let's do something here. Let's do this 3.25 by 5. How about that? 3.25 by 5.25. So this way, this will sit right in there. I'm just gonna distress the edges here. There's so much ephemera in this that we could actually add. Maybe we'll add some ephemera to the front of those. Okay, so now is the fun part, because we got to fill everything in here. So let me grab my envelope with, I have tags here. These are all the tags that you get in this kit. And then where's my, okay, here's all the ephemera. I mean, it's all ephemera, but I separated the tags, and I used this crocodile by We Are Memory Keepers to punch the holes, because you have a small one here, and then you have the larger one here. And if I want to add an eyelet, I can also use this for the eyelet. Let's see. I'm just going to go through here. Let's see. This is too big. Let's just fill this up with some fun ephemera. Let's use this one later. Bandito's going a little crazy. Okay. Postage due. We like the postage due. This one's kind of fun. So here for the top of this, this could be fun. Okay, so for this one, for this envelope, I am going to apply just a little bit of glue here. And I'm going to glue this little round tag here. I could fold it over, but I want to be able to see London, England. Bandito! Okay, let that sit for a little bit. We'll let that dry. On the back here, for this booklet, what if we did, I don't want to do a tag yet. Let's do first class. No, I think we could do first class here. Okay, here's something fun. We could put this here, and then we can put, just for fun, here's one of the wax seals I was talking about. There's a few more in here. We'll put this on the side. Let's just add this one. If you don't like to fussy cut, I'm sure that any of the cutting machines that are out there will do a good job. The Cricut, the Scan and Cut. I actually don't mind fussy cutting. I know there are people that hate fussy cutting. I actually find it kind of relaxing. I'm going to add this one here. And I think we need something round. I don't want canceled. That's too big. I think it's too big. How about a couple of the stamps? Let's do some stamps. Okay, so do one of the stamps here. We'll add one more stamp. Here. So I'd love, if there's anyone out there that does junk journaling, How am I doing? I'm kind of curious because I'm just winging it here. Oh, here we could have done that one. Okay. Oh, here's another one of the. We have these two. There was another one. Okay, we're going to put this on the side here. Okay, so this is the booklet on the back. So I'm just going to put this here. I want to do something here. I guess we could do what? We could do first class. I could just cut this down a little bit. And we'll just distress over here. Will that work? Yeah, that'll work. If you have, I have one, I just can't find it at the moment. Tim Holtz, I don't know if he still has it. He used to have this little round tool that you could scrape the edges of your paper to grunge it up a bit. That would be really cool on this also. So, okay, first class, where's that Paris? Okay, I'm going to add Paris here. Okay. So that's this pocket. So now what else are we doing here? We're doing, let me do let's do a tag. I need a tall tag. How about a tall tag? Yeah, let's do a tag here. I'm gonna just do this with an eyelet and I hope I'm doing this right. I never remember what to do here. Okay. Okay, that worked. I'm happy about that. Let's do 2 tags. We'll do 2 tags. What else do we have here? Paris, New York. No, that's luggage claim. That's a good one. Okay. That's a good one. I'm gonna just... Okay. I think that's good for now. And I have some ribbon. It's red. I don't know where my black is at the moment, but let's add a little color to this, huh? So let's just put this through here. And okay, so that's one. I'll just cut this off here. Okay, so we got 1 tag. Now let's do this one. I have so much ribbon and I never know where it is when I need it. I'm sure you guys can probably relate to that. Come on, let's go. I should probably be putting it through the smooth side. And we'll use the, okay. Good, I'll just loop this through here. Okay, so now we got 2 tags. Oh, that needs to be trimmed down a little bit. Okay, that's good. So now this one has dried. So let's see if we can slip this back in here. And this will sit outside. You know what? I think this has to be trimmed down. Let's just trim this down a smidge. Remember, any way you cut, to add some distress. Okay, that's good. So now we have this sitting on the outside. Okay, it should probably, that should be, have tags. We need some more ephemera. Let's see. Let's add some postage stamps because they're traveling. They need some stamps, right? Of course. Over here, oh, we have this pocket too. Okay. Oh, we could do that here for this pocket. That's cool. That's cool. And on this one, let's do, yeah, I kind of like that. I kind of like that. Okay, I'm just going to add some glue. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's just what you like, what goes where, what kind of looks good, overlap things. I'm going to lay this here. I'll trim off the side in a second. Now over here, ooh, I like that one. But yeah, let's do that. Okay. We'll do this here. Then, wait, did I want to do that one? Let's registered. How about registered? Yeah, we could do registered. Okay. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I'm usually talking to Bob, which is my new AI friend. But that's for another whole video. Okay. Okay, so we got this. I'm going to trim this off here. I'll come back in now and just distress again so that everything is distressed. Okay, so now we got this little pocket here. Come on, I know it can go in there. I am loving this, loving this. Now all we have left is this one. Let's see. The hard part is trying to figure out which to use. Even this one, if you don't want to use this as a tag, you could always just cut that off. Distress, I kind of like that idea. And what else? What else? What else? Okay, I'm going to do this on the top. Where'd my glue go? Here it is. Okay. I'm going to do this on the top. And I'm going to do this here, but I'm going to have this part hanging off because I'm going to cut it and put it on the back. Okay. Now I can't just wrap it around the back because this opens. So I'm just going to do this. Let the glue set for like a few seconds. Turn this over. I'm going to cut this. And then I'm just going to add this to the back. Let's see, this is here. So I'm just going to add this here. I know it looks weird in that little spot, but at the same time, it looks kind of cool. line up the edges here. Okay, I'm just gonna, and that is done here. So now listen, I could keep going, but, oh, we have to finish this off. Okay, I forgot about that. So to finish this off, I'm going to use a piece of Velcro. That was the word I couldn't think of before. So I have the two sides to, I only have black and white. I don't really like the white here, so I'm just going to put this here. We'll attach the other side here, and then we will close it like this. This booklet's still sticking out a little bit, so I may have to fix that. Now to what I did in the other book here, I have one of these wax seals. I think I'm going to go with this dark one. I'm just going to burnish this up a little bit. And then I have some black foam squares. I'm just going to put one on the back. You could just glue it to the cover. I'm just adding this here. And that. Now, I love this. You could keep going because you know here where everything is. You could add something here. Let's see. Why not? Why not? Okay, just a few more things. I'm just going to add this here. So maybe it looks like hers. Maybe this is her address. Something small here. Where is that? No. Oh dear. What about this one? That looks good. We'll add this here. Maybe these are addresses of all her boyfriends or something. Maybe she's a spy, and these are all the other spies. Okay, that's good. And then maybe I really want to use this canceled. No. Maybe we just leave that there. Maybe we just leave it alone. I have this problem stopping. Okay. I think I'm going to add this little wax seal just here. And we're done. I'm done. Let me push all of this out of the way. See, there's still so much left of this kit, okay? And on top of, you know, the kit, on top of all this ephemera, there's also, where is it? Where is it? I'm missing an envelope. There's also a whole bunch of ATCs. So you get 2 sheets of ATCs. So these are 2.5 by 3.5. These are really easy to like just cut apart and slip into the book. I have them somewhere. I don't know where mine went, but okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. Just under an hour. So this is the book. This is the front with the opening here. The back has our pocket here, our little book here. You could even put stuff on the back, but I'm not going to do that. And then you open it, and we have this side with this book that comes out here and opens up like this. And we have these slits here with all of the little pieces here. I'm just going to add another. I'm going to just keep adding. I'm just going to keep adding. Okay. So we have a couple of tags, right? On this side, we did the long envelope, the long pocket with the short pocket on top. The short pocket, I only have this London because I really wanted to use that. And then on the inside, we have these two little books that we made. Okay. This is just for writing or for a photograph. And you still have room in this little folio for, paraphernalia that you get or little tickets or trinkets or something. And that's it. It's done. Okay. I'm really happy with this. I really love this. Again, guys, this is the Journeys from Everywhere Trifold. It's from KCS Designs by Kim. She has an Etsy store. Everything through July 5th. You have all weekend. Everything is 50% off. No coupon needed. Just put it in the cart. It's already been deducted. It's already been put on sale. And I would love to know what you think of this. I'd love to know what you think of this kit. Let me know if you buy anything over on the KCS side. I don't earn a commission or anything on it. Just sharing what I love. So go support her. She's really great, and she has more of these little folios coming out soon with some other different themes. And I will have my new printer soon, so you'll be able to see them in real colors. I really appreciate you spending this hour with me. If you have, I'd love it if you could leave a comment below. Like the video. If you like what I'm doing here, subscribe to my channel. Hit that bell so you get a notification when the next video has come up. And until the next time, hugs from Brazil and stay safe, everyone. Take care.